Hey guys, today we are going over the last method of factoring for the week, and that is going to be quadratic formula. And so first of all, I want to go over when you would use quadratic formula. I'm going to leave a space here so I can put the formula here. So let's say you're given an example like x squared minus 3x plus 11, and you're asked to factor this. So we'll start the process. Two sets of parentheses, x goes here. Factors of 11, well, 11's prime, so it's just 1 and 11. And there is no way that 1 and 11 will ever make 3. So this is not factorable the way that we are used to factoring. So when you run into situations like this is when quadratic formula comes in. If you cannot actually factor it by breaking down the numbers, then you will have to use the quadratic formula. So here is the formula we will use in this case. It is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And I have attached a lovely video to help you remember this formula if you would like to view it. I do want to show you how this works, and we're actually going to use this example right here. So it helps if you go ahead and label your a, b, and c. So for this one, a is the number in front of x squared, which is 1. Just so you know, x will never be a, b, or c, ever. A, b, and c have to be numbers. B is negative 3. Make sure you include the negatives. And c is 11. So identifying a, b, and c help you to plug it into the formula so much easier. So I have negative b. If my b is already negative, a negative makes it positive. Plus or minus the square root, b squared, b is negative 3 squared, minus 4, a is 1, c is 11, all over 2a is 1. So from here we are just simplifying. Just take it piece by piece. We're going to get 3 plus or minus the square root of negative 3 squared is negative 3 times negative 3, which is 9, minus 4 times 1 is 4, times 11 is 44, minus 44, all over 2 times 1 is 2. Simplify a little bit more. I get 3 plus or minus the square root of 9 minus 44 is negative 35. Over 2. We have not talked about imaginary numbers much, but anytime you have the square root of a negative, it does make imaginary numbers, which means this is the same thing as 3 plus or minus I, because it's imaginary, the square root of 35 over 2. Like I said, we don't do imaginary much, but just so you're aware of how this works, when you have the square root of a negative, I does come out. Now, sometimes you can break down this 35. This particular number doesn't actually break down in this example. 35 is made by 7 times 5, and 7 and 5 are prime, so we can't break this down anymore. So this is my final answer. These are my factors. It's a little more complex than normal, but that's how quadratic formula works. Okay, we're going to do one more example. Let's do x squared plus 6x minus 1. So again, it helps to label actually let's put a number in front there. Let's do 3. So a is 3, b is 6, and c is negative 1. So I get negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Just using the formula. Let's simplify this a little bit. I get negative 6 plus or minus the square root of, that's going to be 36, minus 4 times 3 is 12, times negative 1 is going to make that plus 12 over 6. Then we get negative 6 plus or minus the square root of 36 plus 12 is 48 over 6. Now this one's not negative, which means it's not going to be imaginary, but I can break 48 down. So let's do that. I know that 48 is made by 6 and 8, and 6 is made from 2 and 3, 8 is made from 2 and 4, and 4 is made from 2 and 2. This is called getting the prime factorization. It just means we're breaking this down until we get nothing but prime numbers. So another way I could write this is negative 6 plus or minus the square root of 2, 2, 2, 2, and 3 over 6. This is the exact same thing. Now, anytime I have pairs, they can come out. Reason being is 2 times 2 is 4. I can take the square root of 4. So these can come out and these can come out. And I end up with negative 6 plus or minus. If I take the square root of 4, I get 2. So there's a 2 out there. And the square root of negative 4 is 2, which means there's technically 4 outside. Square root of 3 over 6. Now, if you're unsure if these are the same, watch this. The square root of 48, I get this 6.9 number, and then 4 square roots of 3, the exact same number. So you can always check to make sure you did it correctly. Final step is I can reduce this. Negative 6 over 6 is negative 1, plus or minus. 4 over 6 is actually 2/3, so I can say 2/3 square root of 3. Final answer. And that is how you do quadratic formula.